Welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park here in Canada for the first race of WTSS Season 4. Many changes have happened in the off-season, more night races, different tracks added to the schedule, tracks have changed their layouts, and most importantly, races now have qualifiers. There were 2 qualifiers to decide the 40-car lineup for the race, and then a trophy dash to award points for those who were unfortunate enough to not qualify. William Duncan qualified on the pole and has put that number 60 in front. Let's take a look at the cars that we will be seeing in the grid today here in Canadian Tire. Your front row is William Duncan and Fernando Vandoorne, the top 2 qualifiers from the group qualifying session. Then your winners from each qualifier, DJ Curtis and the 69 of Ben Dover, who shocked many by taking the checkered flag first. Then it's Joe Sirigley and Bobby Jones, Brock Beard and Kami Aria, and then we got Daniel Voiles and Ryan Bolden, Matt Payton, Sean Angel, Tristan Wilhoit, Jeffrey Fingai, Christopher Akron, Bobby Frazier, Zachary Fitzwater and Eugene DeMax, Austin Merrow and Yuki Tamura, and we've got Logan Hill and Angel Navarro. Then we've got Ray Takeda and Mark Nutt, Shrimp Angritz and Marcello Baccelli, Jian Hu and Tyler Thaber, Ryan Reed and Kip Pitt, Alex Clubb and James Gibson, Johnny Gardner and Aiden Shepard, Vance Caldwell and Quentin Moore, Philip Perpura and Stephen Wallace Jr., and rounding out your field is Colton Amels and Jake Baskinger. The command has been given to fire the engines, and the cars will roll off to run 1 pace lap to begin the season opener of WTSS Season 4. Will we see a first-time winner? Will we see a repeat winner? Or could we see someone win for the second time here in Canadian Tire, which has never been seen in the first 3 seasons running here? Let's find out for 41 laps of action here in Canadian Tire. William Duncan and Fernando Vandoorne are coming down to the final couple corners. The pace car pulls in. WTSS Season 4 has been long anticipated, and now it's here. Off the final corner to the green flag. We're racing underway here in Canadian Tire. William Duncan takes the green with Fernando Vandoorne as they race off into turn number 1. Side by side between the front 2, but Duncan gets a huge jump on the field off through turn 1. And now he races down to turn 2, trying to space himself for Fernando Vandoorne, your defending winner here. Through turn number 2, Dover slots into 3rd, and DJ Curtis slots into 4th. There's Joe Sirigley battling with Bobby Jones behind. And now, through turn number 3, it is William Duncan leading up the hill ahead of Fernando Vandoorne. Will there be any early moves as they head down the hill towards Moss's hairpin? Into the right-hander we go. Joe Sirigley still side by side for 5th with Bobby Jones. Through the right-handers, everyone else running a slightly wider line than William Duncan. Ben Dover looks low on Fernando Vandoorne for 2nd as they head down the Andretti straightaway. Brock Beard going on Bobby Jones in the back. Now, as we head down the straightaway, William Duncan absolutely gapping himself from the rest of the field as Dover and Vandoorne continue to battle for 2nd. Through the final couple corners, William Duncan, as Dover and Vandoorne almost door slam into the final couple corners. William Duncan, through the final turn. He's going to start off the season on a much higher note than last season, and he will lead lap number 1 here in WTSS Season 4. And now as they race down through turn number 1 once again, Dover has taken the 2nd spot from Fernando Vandoorne, Curtis, then Sirigley, Brock Beard, Bobby Jones, Kami Aria battles with Daniel Voiles, and Matt Payton rounds out your top 10 so far after 1 lap of racing. Now, William Duncan leading them back up the hill to Moss's hairpin. Dover with Vandoorne right behind him. Could Vandoorne possibly make a move here shortly? As we look through our field, there's some side-by-side battles going on towards the mid-pack and towards the rear. Many drivers getting whatever positions they can early on, and Jake Baskinger rounds out the field behind Philip Perpura and Colton Amels as they head down to the hairpin once more. Back up to the front, William Duncan still with a pretty sizable gap over Ben Dover, and it looks like Fernando Van Dorn's made a mistake, and now Joe Sirigli is side by side with DJ Curtis, getting some help from Brock Beard in the 70. They race down the Andretti straightaway once again, and it is Joe Sirigli going for the 4th position on DJ Curtis. Sirigli was very disappointed with how his season ended, almost ending up last in points last year, but now looking for new light this year in WTSS Season 4. As he looks low on DJ Curtis, they're almost dead even across the line. Give it to Sirigli that time by. And now as they race down into Turn 1, I would expect Sirigli to be able to clear Curtis through Turn 1. Not quite. He doesn't quite yet, but now Brock Beard follows him through. And Brock Beard hits the side of DJ Curtis, flies off the track, does a great save, but loses a position in the process. My goodness, he tried to slide in behind the 54 of DJ Curtis, but he got into his right rear and almost caused a massive wreck into Turn 2. We go back up to William Duncan. He seems to be still holding his gap over Ben Dover in the 69 as they race off of Moss's hairpin once again. Van Dorn in 3rd, Sirigli, then Curtis, Jones, and the rest of them. As now Matt Payton looks to the inside as we look through our full field. And now at the back of the field you'll see, yes, Jake Baskinger has gotten by Colton Amel and is now battling with Philip Perpura for the 38th position. Back up to the front again. William Duncan has led now the first 3 laps here in Canadian Tire. Dover's going to try to chase him down, but the question is, can William Duncan be stopped? He seems to have an awful lot of speed so far here at Canadian Tire, and he's going to lead after 3 laps so far. We look back at Angel Navarro in the 20, as we've got some battles going on back here with Eugene DeMax and Austin Merrow, and we've got a problem. Shrimp Engritz. Something amiss on that car. He pulls off to the side. I don't know if it's a tire down or something mechanical, but that car seems awfully slow as he limps around the outside of the track. I would assume it's a tire problem. There's no smoke or anything like that coming out of the car, and he hasn't come to a stop. But man, he is crawling around on that grass around the inside, trying to stay out of everybody else's way. We'll just have to find out what's wrong with Shrimp Engritz when he gets back to the pits. But now we're going to look back at your leader, William Duncan, who's led the first 5 and almost 6 laps now. Ben Dover running in 2nd. Joe Sirigli's in 4th. Bobby Jones is back in 6th. And we've got, rounding out your top 10, a battle for 10th between Ryan Bolden and Brock Beard. Beard has been dropping back after making contact with DJ Curtis early on in the running, and is now continuing to just drop through the field, and is now about to drop out of the top 10 as Ryan Bolden goes past him into the final corner. Brock fights back, but Ryan Bolden is going to likely clear him. Yes, now he does. Ryan Bolden moves into the top 10 after only 6 laps of racing. And now Brock Beard's going to have to try to just hang on as we go back up to the front once more. And there is Shrimp Engritz, still limping back to the pits. We'll just have to wait and see what's wrong with that car. But now we've got William Duncan. It looks like Dover has reeled him in. My goodness, he's really pulled that gap in. Ben Dover with showing some speed all of a sudden here on lap number 7 as they race through Moss's hairpin once more. And Dover now much closer than he was the last time we saw the top 2. Van Dorn still keeping about the same distance back in 3rd. There's Joe Sirigli distantly in 4th, and that is DJ Curtis rounding out your top 5 as we race down the Andretti straight once again. Dover now is going to try to close the gap once more as we head back down towards the front stretch again. William Duncan's going to probably be passing by the 59 of Shrimp Engritz in the pits, but now we're going to look back, and we've got a battle for the 12th position. Brock Beard is about to lose 12th to Sean Angel. He lost 11th to Tristan Wilhoit and is about to lose another spot to Sean Angel here on lap number 7. He just continues to drop through the field. He's about to drop to 13th, and now he's got Christopher Akron behind him for that position. There's Jeffrey Finguy and Zachary Fitzwater. There's Austin Merrow in the 81 car as we continue to look back through the field. And now, at the very back of the field, it is still Jake Baskinger. Where's Shrimp Engritz? There he is, in the middle of the field. He's rejoined 1 lap down. He's going to need a caution and maybe a bit of luck if he wants to be able to get back onto the lead lap into any kind of contention. And now, Ben Dover has gotten to the bumper of your leader William Duncan, and what's he gonna do with it? Oh my goodness. Dover just seems to have found some speed all of a sudden out of the last couple laps, and he seems to be using it as he gets up towards the back of his teammate William Duncan here on lap number 8. Now the question is, when will he make his move if he gets to Duncan? And the question is, can he complete the move if he does reach Duncan and make it in the first place? Now, as we're heading down to complete lap number 8, Dover appears to be much closer this time through the final corner. This is the closest he's been all race, and it's the closest anybody's been to William Duncan since lap number 1 of this race. Down into turn 1 once more. Dover closing the gap even more. He was way faster than Duncan last time by. And now, heading down through turn number 2, trying to get to his bumper. As he does, he gets to the bumper of William Duncan. Down into turn 3. Trying to make the move. He can't do it yet, but the best passing opportunity is Moss's hairpin, where almost 3/4 of all passes on the track happen. Down into the hairpin we go. Duncan, up the hill, through the right-handers. Oh, Dover runs wide. He runs wide and throws away the corner, and now he's at the mercy of Fernando Vandoorne for the second spot. Vandoorne looking to the right side, trying to make a move on Dover, down the Andretti straight once more. Vandoorne getting alongside of him now, side by side, into the final few corners. And now, Duncan is gonna love this in his mirror as these two battle for second. Into the final couple corners. Through the final 2 now. Into the final turn. Vandoorne trying to nose ahead, and it looks like he's going to beat Dover to the line, and he's going to clear him down the front stretch. The most effective way to be able to pass someone on this track without losing any time. And now Vandoorne's going to set his sights on chasing down your leader, William Duncan, here on lap number 10. We're just under 1/4 of the way through this race now. Heading down through turn 2, Dover trying to get back at him. As they race off into turn 3, Duncan has tried to clear himself as far as possible, and he's done a good job at it so far. Now we look back at your leader, William Duncan, as he heads up the hill. We go back through the order. Bobby Jones battling with DJ Curtis. And now, there's William Duncan heading off into Moss's hairpin once more. He's got a pretty good lead once again, and is now going to try to stretch it out here in the next few laps. Bobby Jones has now caught Joe Sirigley as they head down the Andretti straight into the final few corners. Can Bobby Jones make a move on Sirigley as they race through the final few turns? We're just about halfway as William Duncan now crosses the start-finish line, and we are now halfway through this race here in Canadian Tire. Duncan now through turn number 1 once more. Now he knows that he's made it halfway, that at any time he could come into the pits and make his pit stop to make it to the end of the race. Vandoorne still running a distant second, with Dover still hot on his heels if he were to make a mistake. Now, in the 4th spot, we've got DJ Curtis, Joe Sirigley rounding out your top 5. Heading back up the hill once more with DJ Curtis, trying to chase down 2nd and 3rd, with Joe Sirigley running in 5th. There's Bobby Jones in the 6th position. Then we've got Daniel Voiles being helped by Shrimp Angrets in the 7th spot. Then in 8th, Matt Payton in the 16, Kami Aria in the 99 in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is Brock Beard, who's now started to climb his way back through the order after some early issues with that 70 car. As now Aria gets to the bumper of Matt Payton for the position. She's going to try to make a move for the 8th spot, as it looks like. Down the Andretti straight, here she comes to the inside. Side by side, Kami Aria, the rookie, definitely impressing in her debut. The 2nd highest of the debutantes in this race. And now, as they race off into the final couple corners, does Kami Aria get the upper hand against Matt Payton? Through the final few turns, it looks like she's already cleared him before they even reach the final 2 turns. That is crazy impressive by Kami Aria. And now, Brock Beard takes the 9th spot from Matt Payton as well, as Payton is now under fire from Tristan Woolhoit in the 17. Woolhoit trying to crack his way into the top 10 here as they head down through turn number 2. There's Ryan Bolden running back there. He was in the top 10 earlier on, and Jeffrey Finguy has just been out of the top 10 all day so far. So we head off through turn number 3. Kami Aria trying to space herself from Brock Beard, as Beard has shown much speed so far in the last few laps. And now, Tristan Wilhoit battling. Kami Aria is slowing. Kami Aria is slowing. She is slowing. Something must be amiss on that car. It doesn't look to be a flat tire because she's still keeping it on the road perfectly fine. But that car might be down a cylinder or something is wrong, because she is just struggling for speed right now as they're heading down through lap 23. My goodness. Kami Aria going down the Andretti straight at a snail's pace right now, holding up Matt Payton in the 16. Payton losing a ton of spots because of that. And now Aria is just going to get back to the pits as quick as possible to do the least amount of damage possible for her day. Matt Payton's still stuck behind the 99. He just can't get around her. And now Eugene DeMax looks low on Matt Payton as Kami Aria makes a swift move to the pits. This will likely be her pit stop for the day. They'll probably take 4 tires, add fuel, and try to solve whatever's wrong with that 99 car. So now, does Kami Aria coming in set off a chain reaction of drivers coming in for their green flag pit stops? Or will they wait a few more laps, or maybe even push it to their limit before they actually have to come into the pits? We'll just have to find out here in the next few laps. As we go back up to the front, with William Duncan still out ahead of Fernando Vandoorne, and Vandoorne appears to have gapped Ben Dover, and now Dover is in grasp of DJ Curtis now. Down the Andretti straight once again, a really comfortable gap for William Duncan. And now DJ Curtis making a look on Ben Dover for the position. I couldn't do it. Couldn't complete it. Not many drivers couldn't, but it looks like DJ Curtis just didn't set it up right. Down into the final couple corners. He might try again next time by. But now we head through the final few turns. He's actually going to look a little bit right there. He's looking, maybe trying something out for later in the race. Or maybe on a restart or something. I don't know. But DJ Curtis seems to be awfully feisty behind that 69 car. There's Daniel Voiles running about 7th. And there's, wow, we got a battle going on between Sean Angel and Jeffrey Finguy for the 11th spot. Man, they're really going at it. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Sean Angel trying to clear him for that 11th spot. Trying to get that position back. Almost dead even across the line, but Finguy still noses ahead at the start-finish line. But he should be able to clear Finguy through turn 1. No, he doesn't quite. But Sean Angel looks to have the upper hand as he's now on the outside lane heading through turn 2, which usually is the better line to pick, especially for corner exit and then corner entry into turn 3. Yes, Sean Angel clears Jeffrey Finguy for the 11th spot and is now going to try to set his sights on Ryan Bolden for 10th. There's Matt Payton running 13th. There's Zachary Fitzwater in the 15th spot. And now we're going to go back up to the front of the field once more as we got Bobby Jones going on DJ Curtis, looking for that position. But now we've got the lapped car of Kami Aria, who's come out right in front of Fernando Vandoorne and is holding him up currently. That is huge for William Duncan, even more now, especially with the fact that Aria's on cold tires coming out of the pits. There's Bobby Jones and DJ Curtis battling for the 4th spot. And Jones is going to dip off to the pits. Green flag pit stops have begun. Vandoorne and Duncan stays out. William Duncan stays out. And DJ Curtis has stayed out. Does anybody else stay out? Or are they the only ones on this strategy? Everyone else appears to be still peeling off to the pits. We've got Bobby Frazier. He looks to be committing. Bobby Frazier is staying out as well. He's the 3rd driver to stay out during this pit cycle. Does anybody else stay out? Let's find out. Past the pit entry. Doesn't look like anybody's swinging out wide. No, nobody else is coming into the pits. So William Duncan, DJ Curtis, and Bobby Frazier have all stayed out here during green flag pit stops. Now let's see who gets out of the pits first. Of course, it's Vandoorne. Then it's Dover. Bobby Jones comes out 3rd. Maybe he can jumpstart DJ Curtis. And now, Voiles gets out ahead of Sirigley. Brock Beard barely comes out in front of Tristan Wilhoit. There's Ryan Bolden and Jeffrey Finguy coming out of the pits as well. Eugene DeMax, Sean Angel, who dropped a couple spots it looks like, Kami Aria, and we got some side-by-side between Matt Payton and Angel Navarro. Let's see how that cycles out. It looks like Payton's going to get out in front of Navarro. More cars coming out. There's Logan Hill, and we got some more side-by-side between Quinton Moore and Stephen Wallace Jr. Which one is the one to concede this time? Moore lets Wallace go by. He's just going to let him go by. Now, Duncan is in the pits. Curtis is in the pits. Is Bobby Frazier going to stay out an extra lap? Let's find out. No, he's not. He's coming in. He's coming in. He's committed. So, William Duncan. Is this strategy going to pay off? Will staying out an extra lap pay off or hurt him in the long run? We'll just have to find out. He is going to be on cold tires, but he's going to have to maximize that out lap along with DJ Curtis and Bobby Frazier. But those two are going to be mired back in traffic already. So, how does this affect? Duncan comes out of the pits. Doesn't look like much issue from his stop. Now DJ Curtis comes out of the pits. There's Van Dorn. Van Dorn must have had a very good outlap as he's within striking distance of Duncan, it looks like already, as Duncan is still getting up to speed, and now it looks like he's up to full song. But he's got to be careful on those cold tires not to slide off the track or just slide out of the groove. There's Bobby Jones ahead of Daniel Voiles. And now, Fernando Van Dorn is going to have to try to chase down William Duncan as quick as he possibly can, while Duncan slowly goes around on the cold tires. Through Moss's hairpin. This is one of the best spots for catching someone who's on cold tires. And Duncan slides wide. The cold tires, he made a mistake. He slid wide in the hairpin. And now Van Dorn is on him like a hawk on prey. Here he comes, down the Andretti straight. Fernando Van Dorn getting alongside William Duncan as they head down the straightaway. Duncan on the cold tires and also with no momentum out of the hairpin. And as they head into the final few turns, there's nothing he can do, and Fernando Van Dorn takes the lead for the first time today here in Canadian Tire. On lap number 27, as we come through the final couple corners now, Duncan made a crucial mistake while on the cold tires on his out lap, and I think the fact that he stayed out an extra lap didn't help either. There's Voiles battling with Curtis as we go back with now through the field. There's Matt Payton. Bobby Frazier seems to have gained some spots overall, and we've got some side-by-side between Marcello Bachelli and Ray Takeda. As we look back through the field, who is at the tail end of the field right now? There's Kami Aria, who's rejoined the field in 33rd place, and it looks like your tail end of the field right now is Vance Caldwell in the 38 car, running 39th right now, the last car on the lead lap. And it's now Fernando Van Dorn with the control right now here in Canadian Tire, and now Ben Dover is battling with William Duncan for second. I wonder if Dover will be able to get up by him in the next few laps. Through the final couple corners, Van Dorn's going to lead them down to 7 laps to go. As he races through the final corner, he slips out of the groove a little bit. He slipped up the track. That's not good for Fernando Van Dorn. Out of turn 10, he slipped up and slid out of the groove. That's the best opportunity that Duncan's had the entire time. He's seen Van Dorn slip. It's like a shark seeing blood in the water. Now, Van Dorn has just got to stay consistent for the next 7 laps, or else Duncan might be able to pounce on him here at the end. There's Dover hovering in 3rd in case these two get together or something. Or if there's a late race caution. That always could happen, even though it's been caution-free so far, shockingly enough. Down into Moss's hairpin once again. Duncan's closing. You can visibly see it now. He reaches the bumper of Van Dorn as we look back through our order once again. There's Brock Beard in 7th place. He's made great progress. And now in the 10th spot, Ryan Bolden, the number 7. And now Tyler Thaber rounding out the top 15 after starting 25th on the grid. Angel Navarro rounds out your top 20. Now rounding out the top 30 looks to be Stephen Wallace Jr. as Ji-Yeon Hu and Kip Pitt get side by side in front of him. And rounding out your lead lap right now is still Vance Caldwell in the number 38, running 39th. But it is Duncan who's now gotten even closer to the back of Fernando Van Dorn's car as they come down to 6 laps to go. Into turn number 1. Van Dorn trying to gap Duncan a little bit. It's actually 7 laps to go now. I miscounted, but now Van Dorn running through turn number 2, still leading the way. Through turn number 3, Duncan starting to slip back again, and now could be in the clutches of Dover, should he make another mistake. Into Moss's hairpin once again. And now through Moss's hairpin. Van Dorn still hanging on to it right now, with Duncan still watching him in case a mistake were to happen, because all it takes is one slip up by Van Dorn, especially in the Moss's hairpin, where a lot of drivers have made mistakes running wide there. But all it takes is one mistake for Duncan to pounce, or if those two both make mistakes, it could be Ben Dover in the 69. There's Bobby Jones in 4th. He could challenge if something were to happen. As we go through our field once again, Ryan Bolden in the top 10. And now behind him we've got Faber running in the top 15 still, very impressively after starting 25th. But now back up to the front again. Dover still running in 3rd behind your top 2 as Duncan lost a little bit of ground that time to Van Dorn, 2/10 to be exact, as they race off into turn 2 again with only 6 laps to go. And now Van Dorn running the race of his life. He had this race won back in Season 1. But he threw it away in Moss's hairpin on the final lap. In Season 2, he took a season off and put Lance Kubica in the car. Kubica took the lead on the final lap and won the race. And then in Season 3, Van Dorn came back and in his return race got sweet redemption by passing Aiden Shepard with 2 laps to go and won the race, and now is looking to defend at a track he's held so dearly to himself in his WTSS career. Even though he's not from Canada or anywhere near that, this has to be one of his most dearest tracks. As now it looks like Ben Dover may have made a mistake there in Moss's hairpin. He's dropped far back from William Duncan, and so now it looks to be only a 2-horse race, unless these two were to get together or something. Now as we head up the final corner, once again, Van Dorn still ahead of William Duncan. Racing off into turn number 1. Duncan was 0.2 of a second faster. He pulled the gap back in. Now he has a shot once more at this race victory with only 5 laps to go now. Van Dorn has never been closer to a victory that seemed so far away. Van Dorn, those 5 laps are going to seem like an eternity for him, especially when he knows that the leader in the final 2 laps has never won here at Canadian Tire in WTSS. So now the pressure's on him to hold himself together and not get beat by the second place driver like many others have in before him. Van Dorn off the Moss hairpin again, under the Bridgestone sign, down the Andretti straight. Dover continuing to drop back. He's almost into reach of Bobby Jones. Jones with an impressive debut race. How would it be if he could pull off a podium here? Down into the final few turns past the Canadian Tire sign. And now, Fernando Van Dorn, with new sponsorship, new paint scheme, and a new light for his team, is now on edge, coming to the 4 to go mark now across the line, and he stretches the gap once again on William Duncan. Duncan trying to reel him back in, but man, if he hadn't given up the lead back during pit stops, I think Van Dorn would have been strong enough to take it from him anyways. He just is so consistent right now. I just don't see anyone matching Van Dorn here coming to the end. Through turn number 3, Van Dorn slips out of line a little bit. Duncan tries to take advantage as much as possible. To the top of the hill, and now down to Moss's hairpin. Once again, through the hairpin. Duncan closes the gap majorly that time, gets all the way to the bumper, almost, of Van Dorn. That is huge for William Duncan. Down the straightaway once again. Dover continuing to drop back even further. Bobby Jones looks even closer in his mirror now. But now it's William Duncan, who's almost within striking distance of a dive bomb on Fernando Van Dorn. Would he try it? And when would he do it if he was close enough? Look how close that number 60 car is into these final couple corners, coming to 3 laps to go. Fernando Van Dorn crosses the line. He still runs about the same lap time as he has been, but Duncan was just that much faster. There's Bobby Jones running in 4th. Voiles has quietly been in the top 5, with Joe Sirigley 6th, Brock Beard chasing him down heavily for that position. There's DJ Curtis, Tristan Wilhoit, and rounding out your top 10 is Ryan Bolden, with Jeffrey Finguy just outside of it, trying to chase him down as well. Running in 14th is Tyler Thaber. And in 15th, oh, we got a problem for Christopher Akron. Akron with an issue. He's into the pits. He was running up in the top 15 at one point, and now he's in the pits with an issue with only 3 laps to go. What a tough break for him, and he's likely going to either finish the last car on the lead lap or even last in general if it's something terminal. And it appears to be a flat left side tire on the 91 car. Rough break for that team, especially with as much high hopes as they had coming into this race. Akron leaves the pit stall. We now go back up to your lead battle as they come down to the final couple corners. They're about to take 2 laps to go here in Canadian Tire, and Duncan is not any farther back. In fact, he may even be closer than he was last time by. Heading into the final couple corners once again, Van Dorn over Duncan. 2 laps to go for Fernando Van Dorn. Through turn number 1, no sight of Christopher Akron anywhere, so it doesn't look like he's going to impede them at all if he were to have any problems. Down through turn number 2, Dover is even farther back in 3rd place. Even if these two got together or had some kind of a scuffle for the lead, I don't think Dover would have any shot of it anyways. Through turn number 3, Van Dorn running a slightly higher lane than William Duncan. And now, as we head up the hill, Duncan's going to maybe try to make a move here in the Moss's hairpin, or maybe he'll wait till the final lap. Heading into the hairpin once more. Duncan, almost to the bumper once more, and he doesn't slip up. That was the key right there. He didn't slip up and make any kind of a mistake. He kept with Van Dorn and has been just as consistent, maybe even better than Van Dorn these last couple laps. Down the Andretti straightaway, we're going to be coming to the white flag this time by. We're coming under the Canadian Tire sign here in a second, and it's Fernando Van Dorn for the 2nd year in a row running up near the front, coming to the white flag, but this time he's in a role reversal of Season 3, but is an identical situation of Season 1. Can he hold on to it this time? Van Dorn, through the final corner, slipped up a little bit. White flag in the air for Fernando Van Dorn. 1 lap to go in the Season 4 opener here at Canadian Tire. William Duncan chasing him down in the 2nd position. If he has the chance to make a move, he'd better do it now, or in the Moss hairpin. Van Dorn running down through turn 2. No mistakes from either driver. They were almost dead even lap time wise that last time by. And now through turn number 3, Fernando Van Dorn coming up the hill towards Moss's hairpin. This is where the difference is made. He lost it in the Moss's hairpin in Season 1, but he got it in Season 3. And now, up through the hairpin for the final time. Does he make a mistake? No, he doesn't. Neither of them run wide. Fernando Van Dorn now just has to run flawlessly for the last couple corners, not miss a shift, not make any kind of a mistake, and he's got it won. Van Dorn down the Andretti straightaway for the final time. Duncan seems to have conceded. He knows he's lost, but he shouldn't be giving up now, because at any moment something crazy could happen. Fernando Van Dorn through the final couple corners. He's gonna make it. Season 4 Race 1 winner, Fernando Van Dorn, the first driver to defend a race win here at Canadian Tire. Van Dorn is going to win the opener of Season 4. William Duncan gets 2nd. Ben Dover holds on for 3rd ahead of Bobby Jones. 5th place is going to go to Daniel Voiles very quietly all today. Brock Beard just barely isn't going to get Joe Sirigley for the 6th spot. DJ Curtis in 8th. Then it's Tristan Wilhoit gets the 9th spot, and Ryan Bolden rounds out the top 10 just barely ahead of Jeffrey Finguy. Sean Angel, Eugene DeMax, Tyler Thaber the top 15. No, Thaber got 14th. That was Yuki Tamura. Then it's Zachary Fitzwater, Bobby Frazier, Matt Payton, Angel Navarro, Ryan Reed rounding out your top 20 in a semi-decent debut. Through the field once more, and we've got Marcello Bacchelli. We've got Kip Pitt, Stephen Wallace Jr., and now we've got a battle for 30th as they come to the line. Gian Hu holds off Philip Papura. There's Quentin Moore. Jake Baskinger, Kami Aria, Colton Amos, Alex Clubb, Johnny Gardner, Vance Caldwell, and rounding out your lead lap in 39th place is Christopher Akron in the 91, unfortunately after that tire issue at the very end. And rounding out your field in the 40th place, last place in the main event, is the 59 of Shrimp and Grits. But now, it's time for Fernando Vandoorne to celebrate. He's won the opener of WTSS Season 4, and we'll see you next time in race number 2 in Toronto. See you in